Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Fallout 4 Mods Weekly. Today we have a nice variety of mods, including different settlement items, weapons, an outfit pack, and even some quests. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some really cool mods. For starters, we have more Fortifications by Giblib. This is going to add more fortifications to your settlement menu. If you're familiar with the mod Sandbag Fortifications, this is going to take a similar approach by adding some ramshackle barriers that you can add to your settlements. The different pieces added by this mod are separated into three categories. We have the wooden section, the metal section, and then the junk wall section. When we take a look at the wooden section here, you can see that we have a lot of different sandbag style fortifications braced up with different pieces of wood, plywood, metal, and even some barbed wire. These work great when it comes to the idea of improvised structures, throwing up some junk walls that you really need protected. This is definitely a great way to add some new defense items to your settlement that are actually believable. These seem like things that people could actually make in Fallout. It doesn't require too much heavy lifting, it's just some sandbags, some wood. It can be thrown together with nails pretty easily. I think this is definitely a great alternative to other fortification mods. Of course, personally, I think the more variety the better. I would like to use these in tandem with things like sandbag fortifications, but of course if you're running tight for space, this is definitely a great alternative. The metal section is going to provide you with the barriers seen in the vanilla game, like the Gunner and Brotherhood of Steel barriers, and while these are available in other mods, this does bring something new to the table, which are some improvised versions of these barriers, where they will take some of these, stack them together with some wood to make completely new structures that you can throw down at your settlement, really recycling the pieces and creating something totally new, which is always nice. It really helps to make settlements feel completely unique. And then finally, we have the junk wall section where we get a brand new tower that you could totally use for, say, a turret or maybe even a really small guard post. We have a new wall piece that actually takes a piece of advertisement, some sort of a small billboard for a car. That makes for a great improvised wall. And then finally, we have two new wall pieces that actually have an overhang, which will prevent people from climbing the wall. It makes a whole lot of sense. Typically, you'd use barbed wire for this, but an overhang works just as well. Definitely super immersive. I love all of these pieces, and because of the use of vanilla assets, this mod is not only available for PC, but Xbox and even PS4. Definitely a wonderful mod, and I encourage anybody to go out there and try it for themselves. As always, if you want to try any of the mods in this video, they'll be linked down in the description below. The next mod we're checking out today is a new Revolver mod, and that is the Smith & Wesson Model 1905 by JFF007. Much like the title suggests, this adds the Smith & Wesson Model 1905 revolver into Fallout 4, complete with leveled list integration. You can find this guy on vendors, raiders, Diamond City Security, and settlers. Or you can craft this thing at the chemistry station. There is even an optional file that doesn't have any leveled list integration for those of you who for whatever reason don't want it. This mod does make use of War Daddy's double action revolver animation set, so you will need to grab that and it will provide some nice custom animations for this revolver. On top of that, it does add some cool double action utility, so when you go to your receivers, you can choose between single action and double action, which will give you different animations. There is a nice little handful of attachments for this thing, but most importantly, there are some really unique attachments that are super cool to see on a revolver mod. Specifically, this revolver has the options to add laser attachments, so whenever you have all of them equipped, you will have a brand new laser barrel, and when you reload, rather than loading in 6 bullets, you will instead load in 1 fusion cell. Reloads like this really remind me of the Destiny-style hand cannons, and honestly this is a concept I've had for a mod for a long time, but somebody beat me to it. I really like the idea of crossing energy weapons with old-school weapons like revolvers. It truly screams Fallout to me, and I really like how it's integrated in this mod. As of right now, it is currently only available on PC, but for those of you PC users, I highly encourage you to check it out. Really neat little pistol mod by JFF007. For our next mod, we have a beautiful armor pack, and that's going to be the Winterized Gunner Outfit Pack by DefaltTheFixer. If you're familiar with the original Gunner Outfit Pack by DefaltTheFixer, it adds a ton of new Gunner outfits into the game. This one specifically is going to be winter themed, meaning that all of the outfits are going to be gray and black rather than the typical Gunner green. This makes a perfect pack for anybody who likes to run snowy mods to make their Commonwealth more of a winter landscape. Now, one of the primary factions in the game will actually wear attire that would be appropriate to that climate. The original Gunner Outfit Pack was by far one of my favorite armor mods in the modding scene right now, and this is definitely a wonderful sequel to that mod. All of the outfits are super high quality, making use of a bunch of vanilla assets with some really nice retextures. Default has always done a wonderful job making all of the outfits feel very lore friendly, like they actually belong in the game, while still maintaining a realistic feel that these are something that would actually be used in real life. Now, as the mod currently stands, it is the standalone pack, meaning that it is only the outfits. If you want to get a hold of these things, you'll have to head north of the robotics disposal ground, where you'll find an APC that has a container full of all of these outfits. But I'm hoping that sometime soon we will see a leveled list edition that will add all of these into the gunner level list, along with a bunch of really cool ranks, just like the original gunner outfit pack. As of right now, this mod is currently only available on PC, but I'm hoping that it will make a port to Xbox sometime in the future, much like the original pack did. It's just going to take a little bit of time. I really couldn't recommend the original gunner outfit pack enough, and the same goes for this one if you're running a winter style playthrough. Or even if you're not and you just prefer the gray coloring, this is also a great addition. Either way, some wonderful work by Default, and I'm looking forward to all of the future updates and outfit packs to come. Up next, we have Simple Bounties by Jagged Josh. This is going to add a really nice repeatable quest that allows you to take bounties from the new character Jagged that will give you some pretty nice income of caps and other supplies. Rather than waiting on those bounty boards, you can instead now go to the Dugout Inn, where you can meet the new ghoul Jagged, who will give you some really nice bounties of different types. When you interact with him, he'll send you to hunt down either raiders, robots, or ghouls, all of which will have different rewards. As for what you get for each bounty type, well, I'll let Jagged tell you himself.
Howdy.
So, what's my payment?
Raiders and robots, 1,000. Ferals, 2,000. Plus a tip for each kill. Good enough for you?
So, as you can see, this mod also has voice acting, which is always a huge plus whenever there's a new character in the game. And honestly, this is just a really nice way to make some additional income in Fallout, doing some really cool jobs that you'd probably be doing anyways just by exploring. Now, you can be rewarded for it. This is a wonderful mod that adds something more to do to the game, either while you're doing the main quest or after everything's done. If you just want to go kill something but get a little bit more loot out of it, heading over to Jagged to get the quest is definitely a great way to do that. And hey, the supplies that he gives as tips are also pretty nice. They range from different things like junk items to even a whole handful of stim packs, so definitely worth doing these in the early game, mid game, and maybe even the late game. Really cool little bounty mod, wonderful work by Jagged Josh. And for our last time slot today, we actually have a mod update, and that's going to be an update to my combat rifle overhaul. I did make a video covering in depth what all of the new changes and finishing touches are, but I did want to throw it on the end of the weekly, as typically more people watch this, and I want to make sure everybody is aware of the changes just in case they need to update the mod to have all of the cool new features. So really quick, we'll just go over what's new, what's changed, and everything that this mod actually does. As you're probably aware of if you've played this mod already, it remeshes the receiver of the weapon, but now it also has a remesh to the front foregrip to make it really distinct from the combat shotgun. Again, it was my goal to try to make the combat rifle feel like its own thing while still using some recycled parts from the shotgun like it's supposed to in the lore. The new and improved foregrip is going to help with some weird gripping issues that some people were complaining about with the last iteration of the weapon. Now everything should look nice and tidy. Another thing I've changed out is the 38 receiver is now a 45 caliber receiver, which will actually feature a straight mag as opposed to a curved one. After some thought, 38s just didn't make a whole lot of sense in the combat rifle, so adding the 45 receiver to kind of call back to the original caliber was a nice little addition I wanted to include. Now, in the last update to this mod, we did add the different caliber magazines, so when you switched the receivers, you would actually have magazines that resembled them. I have further tweaked the receivers to better suit the new magazines, including complete mag wells, so your magazines aren't just floating there for no reason. Now the magazines will at least look a little bit more secure when they're sitting in the gun. And then finally, the biggest addition from this update is that now there are drum magazines. So whenever you switch from 5.56, 308, or 45 caliber, now you will see that there is a corresponding drum magazine, which is really nice to increase the capacity of the weapon and have even more variety for the attachments that you can put on. And that's pretty much it. That's going to wrap up Mods Weekly for this week, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, if you want to try any of the mods featured in this video, they will all be linked down in the description below, along with Xbox or PS4 links if they are available. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a rating. Subscribe if you haven't already for more videos just like this, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace! And really quick, I'd like to make a shout out to all of our patrons. Your donations are greatly appreciated and really help to support the channel and videos just like this one. So again, thank you.